What's up, you guys? So, today I had a sequence of thoughts and memories just come to mind, and I decided, you know what, I am going to turn that into a stream because I think it's interesting and it's an opportunity for me to reflect back on how much I have grown. And at the same time, you guys get to hear a story about me that you may not be familiar with. And maybe it will resonate with you, or if it doesn't resonate with you, at least you can either be like, I have heard someone tell me a similar story, or I have been on the receiving end of this, or perhaps even on the perpetrating side. But whatever side you're on, I just hope that you don't mind just sitting tight with me and just hearing me out because I just want to share my story just in case someone out there is having difficulties or you're just lost or confused. And just know that at least I went through it and maybe we can start a conversation in that manner. So, what am I talking about? So I was involved with someone at some point in my life, someone in my personal life, who made me feel constantly like I was a burden on their life, like I was not contributing to their lives very positively, like I was stressing them out, like I made them feel like being around me or with me was like work. It reminded them of work or having a job or something like that. And that was one of the most awful times in my life because I like to think that as a person, being around me is something positive, and I take a lot of pride in that. But this person, for some reason, was making me feel the complete opposite. I started questioning myself. I was like, could I really be as bad as this person depicts me? Could it be that I really am not, as good as I think I am, pretty much? Just having a lot of self doubt. And this person decided to tell me that me as a depressed person, I should probably get together or just hook up pretty much with another fellow depressed person. And to me, that did not make any sense because, once again, I promise you, I know that I'm the one who lived the experience and I am telling the experience. So it is possible that there is bias here and there because I can only tell you from my account and I will never know what the other person meant. But but it was just weird to be told that period because I'm sitting there like that's not right because I know that I am not intending to make your life more complicated. I'm not trying to make your life more difficult. I'm not trying to get in your way at all. I think that I actually am pretty supportive. I like to think that I am your number one cheerleader, but for some reason, your perception of me is so negative. Why? What have I done to make you feel that way? So, once again, a lot of self doubt, a lot of questioning myself, and those words on occasion sort of creep into my conscience, and I will never forget it. It was like, I'm a very happy person, and you are someone who is depressed. You get problems, and you should totally get help. You definitely need help. And I'm like, I know what I am, who I am, what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling it, and I am taking the proper steps. But you are trying to make me feel like I am irresponsible about how I feel. Anytime that I open up and share something, I am not looking for your advice. If I am looking for advice, I will ask for it specifically. So I just hated that I was constantly being treated like I was not valuable, like I had no, just like I was useless, pretty much. And I just remember that this person constantly expressed themselves like they were incredibly impatient toward me. And the reason I dared to make such a remark, it's because I would observe how they would interact with people who had bullshit going on in their lives that was worse than mine. And I'm like, how come this person is patient with that person? How come they don't give them the nasty attitude like me? Oh, right, because I'm involved with them in a personal level, in an emotional level. So therefore, they're going to hold me to a higher standard and try to criticize me more harshly. But I'm thinking, I would expect that not to sound like I'm way too like full of myself, but I would expect that I would be that person who you make a priority at making them feel better about anyone else. Because if I'm the one who's involved in your personal life, then I would expect that you would acknowledge me and give me my place. And if anything, you love me, and of course, you want to treat me better than anyone else. But I learned that people have this nasty ass habit called taking someone for granted, and I absolutely hate that. Like, there's not a lot of things that I hate in this world, like that I can say that my guts just twist from how much I despise it. But that is something that I just detest and have zero tolerance for. And it's crazy because it happens so often. Your family may take you for granted, your partner, your spouse, whatever the hell you're involved with, your friends, even your colleagues. And I think that mess just needs to end somehow because you're doing so much damage and you don't even know it. But but anyways, why do I express this and why do I bring this up? Well, it's because now that I look back, this happened to me about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And now looking back, I'm like, wow, this person nearly drove me crazy because I'm like, I respected this person and I believed in this person so much. I respected them because of their age, their experience, their positions, who they are pretty much in our social circle and all that. And now looking back, I'm like, this is the biggest fuck up who I have ever met in my life. How did I idolized them so much? How did I adore them so much? And I'm just sitting there. Like, just when I was a teenager and I was starting to see through the flaws of my mother, now I see the flaws of this person who I just, for some reason, I don't know what happened to me. For some reason, I saw them as impeccable. And now I cannot help but feel so much disappointment and even frustration because I know that this person is fucking better than that, but their arrogance will not let them see it. But when I think about it, I guess I had to meet someone like this and be involved with someone like this to be able to diagnose that at first glance and recognize it and be like, okay, this person is like this and that. This is how I manage it. And I have to be careful about not letting what they say get to me or take it too seriously. But it's just crazy because what made it difficult is that because you associate this individual with being someone who you resort to and you look at as this person loves me, this person is trying to protect me, they wouldn't tell me something that isn't true. But then their ideals got in their way and they probably without even meaning to, they did tell me things that were doing more harm than good. And now that I look back and I am able to piece that together and recognize it, I'm just so frustrated. I'm not going to call it a waste of time because again, I learned a lot of valuable lessons, but it's just crazy that this happened and that what can I say? I did not know how to defend myself, stand up for myself, and be like, no, you need to understand that you are wrong. And I decided to let the person win. Like I decided to let them convince me that, as a matter of fact, I have issues, and I don't have issues. Everyone has issues, but my issues are not getting out of control because I'm letting them get out of control. It's like when we would bring up the topic of my depression, they always treated me like I was just crazy and you cannot reason with me. And I am very easily one of the most reasonable people out there. Like, I know how to listen to you and I know how to give you your place and be respectful to you. It should not be difficult to hold a conversation with me. So, to be told that I am this image that is completely contrary to what I know I am, and it comes from a source that I trust, I guess that's what made it difficult because I'm thinking maybe they're right. Maybe I am being that terrible person and whatnot. But yeah, this person just had the worst advice for me. And now, years later, I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, had I listened to what this so called respectable person was saying, I would be so fucked right now and not in the nice way. So, yeah, guys, basically, I want to share this because I think that if you're in a position where you're just doubting yourself and you are in that position because you're following what someone says and you consider them respectable, give yourself the benefit of the doubt, because if you feel something in your gut, heart, soul, whatever it is that you believe in, you're probably right. You will know when you are wrong. And during that time, I felt wrong about me because someone talked me into thinking about myself in a lesser way. And it's very difficult to put into words, but just know that everything gets better. Do not give up on whatever it is that you're pursuing. Be careful about who you get acquainted with. This is nothing new, but you can get carried away just listening to someone, believing in someone, taking them seriously, letting them govern over your life. And I think that it's important for you to not lose yourself. Like, it doesn't matter how much you admire someone, how much impact they have in your life. Just make sure that your decisions are your own. And if you know that someone is wrong about you, do not give them any any credit whatsoever. Do not believe in them in any way, because eventually what's going to happen is that'll become the reality that you start saying to yourself. And if your mind is particularly fragile, you'll start believing that, and it'll drive you up a wall in misery and everything. So, like, for me presently, I am pretty miserable about some stuff because I guess it's very time consuming to get to the part in life where you just want to be, and you're just frustrated and you just want for it to be like 10 years later to know if you made it or not. But I mean, it's part of life, it's part of the process. I did what I had to do, which was just consume an ungodly amount of sugar. I don't know how I'm alive right now, but at least I feel better. And now I will hopefully work some of that out. But now that I'm more chill and relaxed, I'm just glad that I brought this up and I shared it and I put it up there. Because I used to write about this, but writing doesn't really have the same effect for me anymore. But my goal was to be able to say this and be confident about what I'm saying, because if I can say it confidently, that means that I have really gotten over it and I am not letting that stuff affect me presently. And that any attempt at me having this type of a conversation with someone, it would make me start crying like a little bitch, and I could never finish my dialogue. So the way I know that I've matured and gotten over some shit is I'm sitting here, I'm telling you a story, I'm going completely public about it, I'm sharing it with hundreds of people, and I feel pretty confident about myself. It used to be that I was like, I'm not going to talk about this at all because I don't want to damage someone's reputation or whatever. And I'm like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. You don't know. You don't know me. You think you know me because we're close, but you don't know me. That was so disappointing and frustrating. You're supposed to know me better than anyone, but for some reason you don't. So yeah, you guys, just be careful of your acquaintances. And if this is old news for you, then good, you're a wise person in life. But for me, it took these experiences to be able to realize that and convince myself of it. So I guess it doesn't matter when you learn it or how slow you learn it, as long as you learn it. So I just thought that I would share that this happened to me, and maybe you guys have some insights, some input, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say if you know of someone who went through something like this or whatever, because I find it interesting. It used to hurt me back then like crazy, but now it's like I got over it. And it's so awesome when you get over something that that has been tormenting you for a while. But anyways, enough from me, and let me read the comments of someone who decided to come back to the living. Well, long time no see. Was this your boyfriend? I have had a similar experience in my life. Well, I guess we can consider it a boyfriend. Yeah. Yeah, let's say that it was a boyfriend. It was just someone incredibly close in my life, and they were male. So, because of that, I like to think, you know what? Guys simply do not, what can I say? You guys do not pick up on nonverbal stuff very well. That's one. And second, when we put stuff into words, some of you guys just don't understand some stuff. You just like to slap the label of woman, emotions, and just leave it at that. Like, actually try to understand where the girl is coming from, because it's so fucking frustrating. Like I like to think that if I'm with a guy, I'm with someone who I can reason with and whatnot. But when you're just getting defensive and constantly denying shit and even pointing the finger at me that my tragedies and my misery is my fault, it's like you're not making the situation better. How about if you actually give solutions upon request? Because a lot of the times, like I said earlier, I don't even need advice. I just need to feel support, to just feel protected. That's it. But there's some guys out there who just, what is crawling in your head? What kind of bug do you have in your head that doesn't let you reason? It's just crazy to me. It's like I'm dealing with someone who can't reason, and then you're trying to accuse me, make me feel like I'm the one who is wrong, or like I'm the one who is the problem. No, you have to be accountable too. And you know that you like to talk before you know the story. You like to let your feelings, opinions, and even your pride get in the fucking way. Let go of that. Become an objective creature, But, anyways, like I said, back then, I was just submissive. I took the abuse. But now it's like I'm reflecting back on those times, and I'm just so happy that stuff is just different, and that I would never allow for such a thing to happen to me again. Like, if that happens to me again, I deserve it. But again, I needed the experience for me to realize this stuff. Let's see. I have had a similar, though I am currently going through depression, things in my life not going the way I want, like not making enough money. You know what? That's me. That's me. When I mentioned earlier that I was miserable, it's like, here I am, just getting by. What do I need to do to make my life march in the right direction? And I know that stuff takes time, especially if you're in a position in society where your resources are limited. I want to be patient. But unfortunately, the kind of spirit that I have is I like to be moving. I like to be proactive. I like to be seeing results. And I like to be working on things. Like, where will I be living? Where will I be working? Or what will I be working on? Or who's going to be in my life? Things like that. Just, have I met the person who is going to guide me in the right direction for my life to turn around? And the reason I say person is because usually life changes because of somebody. Like, someone hires you in the right place, someone gives you the opportunity to go somewhere or travel somewhere or even live somewhere. Like, have I met this person who's going to change my life? And if not, where the fuck do I need to go to meet them? Because, society is the work of a lot of people. And as a member of society, you need from other people to be prosperous yourself. So that's what I'm. Sometimes I just wonder that. Like, have I met the next best friend of mine? Have I met my best manager? Have I met my best teacher? Have I met my husband yet? Like, where are y'all? Where the fuck are y'all? I need y'all. Anyways, God, I keep misjudging the time and it keeps getting dark way sooner. But anyways, we don't need light. Forget that. I'm shining bright. Though it is not good to allow others to define you, some people like to bring people down just for the purpose of making themselves feel good. And the thing of it is that this person who I was describing, this is an individual who absolutely does not need to be doing this. This is an old ass person. So I'm like, you're grown, I'm grown. I would expect that we're having a grow ass conversation, but for some reason, it's not always the case. That's crazy. There's adults in this planet that just walk around with the mentality of children. That is a problem. We need to address it. Oh my god. I understand completely of what you're saying. Thank you for the tips. By the way, did you miss me at all? Well, how can I say this in a way that's not gonna make you, what can I say, block me? To be fair, Wolfos, I kind of did not notice that you were missing because I guess interactions from other active members sort of made you go into the deepest depths of my subconscious. So don't be offended, but I did not realize that you were missing from the group until I saw an email from YouTube telling me that so and so has subscribed. And I'm like, again? This is the third time. So what are you doing? What is wrong with you? Why do you keep playing games? Just stick around. And welcome back. It's good to have you again. But now that I think about it, it's like, yeah, there have been a couple of people who I notice who don't seem to hang out much anymore, but it's probably because of their schedules. But yeah, I am sorry if that's not the answer you wanted to hear. But now that I think about the memories that we had, yeah, I guess I can say that I miss you, but it's not like I was going to bed at night going like, where the fuck is Wolfos? Or like I was waking up in the morning going like, where did he go? Sorry, but I guess other people replaced you and I was unaware of it. Yeah. We don't have to continue this conversation in a public forum. But nah, seriously, dude, welcome back. But yeah, I don't want to lie to you. It's kind of weird because I guess when I stream, I have a one track mind and I acknowledge whoever's present. And if a while goes by, it's like you sort of go into my subconscious until I see you resurface. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember you. You're so and so. But to be actively thinking about you I'll do better next time. I'll be like, hey, where did Wolfos go? But seriously, welcome back. Welcome back. Um, if someone's not even trying to understand you, do you deserve better company? I was worried that you would have a hard time carrying on with my presence. And I did my first video on my YouTube page, just a short introduction of myself. And I gave you a shout out on my YouTube page. Oh my god, yay! Well, if that's your way of saying that I inspired you, you're welcome. uh, you're a strong person, Sam. You didn't miss me. I resubscribed to get your attention that I have arrived. Oh, well, when you put it like that. Now, the next question is how long were you unsubscribed for? Or were you one of those people who makes my analytics look bad? Like my graph keeps going like a heartbeat monitor. Oh, man. Anyways, sniff, sniff, Wolfus is now pouting. I'm glad that your soul has not changed despite your lengthy absence. Which, how long were you gone for again? Like 2 months, 3 months. I would like to say I remember, but I kind of don't remember. Well, guys, I am going to conclude my rambling right here. There's like a continuation to this little story of mine, but of course, I'm not going to really dive into it. That'll be like something progressive, and it's also getting dark. So I'll look at that as my timer is like completely counted down. Whatever phrase I'm trying to attach to that. My time is up. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Now I am going to unsubscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe, research drive just to annoy you. Well, you do whatever pleases you. But if you find that I turn a blind eye to you, then no, I'm just playing. But seriously, drown my email with subscribe and subscription alerts, I guess. All right, guys. I'll see you soon.